I'm Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. $125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at villageXchange@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go on the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch. Buy our merch indeed. A child shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Oh my goodness gracious.
All your half your head is taken off. You're too far out the thing.
Off?
You're like, we're like
My
just
head
seeing
isn't
like
taken
this.
off. No, what are you talking about?
Blah blah blah.
No, you're
But
wrong.
you should be all the way in.
No, look, see? We got all that space there. We got all that extra space there. I just put this there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize. Excuse me. Pardon me, sir. Pagan Party by Mug Dios.
Pagan Party by
Mago
de Oz.
Okay.
Mago,
So,
is that like, I don't know, is that
this
picture or something? I don't know.
This is part of the stream, the transatlantic collusion, and the particular collusionist on this one was DJ Mike. So thank you, DJ Mike, for picking this song. What?
Oh, okay, and this was his lyric video as well, by the way.
Oh, he made it?
BT dubs. I think that's what they're saying.
Okay.
I think that's what they're saying. Mago de Oz.
You know what? I made a music video one time too. Well, I mean a lyric video, and I was very happy with it.
You did
the Behemoth. God equals
one.
dog.
God equals dog. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Check it out.
I think that was probably the reason he had that big post, that big long post on Instagram about us. That's when the big homie Dan he called me. He's like, bro, Nergal just posted this thing about you on Instagram, man. I was like, no shit, bro. He's like, yeah, bro, shit. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I went there and I was like, shout out to the homie. Shout out to the homie Nergal.
Shout out to Nergal.
Okay. All right. The time has arrived. We are being blessed by the transatlantic collusion. You can see it right there, right now. I saw a guy yesterday. He's like, yeah, it'll be on the right side on you. It was
yeah, I know.
Underground Metal Leader. Shout out to the homie.
Oh, man.
Shout out to
We've done that, though, in quite a few videos.
Yeah, we do that all the time. What's his face? He used to make fun of us with that. My buddy, Peter. Yeah, he used to be like, yo, can we remember, because you used to have a little postscript thing that said click here, and we click, it would be there. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Here it goes, guys. You heard about the woman that was breastfeeding her hairless cat on a Delta. I'm not even gonna comment on that shit, bro. That shit is crazy. People losing their fucking minds. All right, here we go. Pagan Party by Mago de Oz. Let's do it, y'all. Hold on.
The album cover is like this witch playing a violin.
We got a full screen. This shit is folky.
fat. Little birds is dressed in gold. I'm dressing now. All the understand is the voice. All the poor in a liberty song. You wanna feel immortal? Break on to the night. Take my hand, come with us and shout. Around a huge bonfire, we'll steal the morning light. In the middle of the night, we will drink and we will fight. Leave all the pain behind. Join the pagan party now.
Okay. Talk to me, brother freaking minister. I'm going to rename this the freaking playlist stream, bro. Because all these songs need to be on somebody's playlist, man. Holy smokes.
I agree. This one was fun.
I like this song a lot. Shout out to my pagan brethren everywhere. The human freaking spirit, bro. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Okay. It is kind of interesting. Like, these guys are kind of like a Hispanic band almost, but the pagan... not the pagan, the folky sound. It kind of, somebody said like folk music sounds folky everywhere.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, start. What did you think?
Well, I thought it was fun sounding the way that they did it. It was totally unexpected. I did not think it was going to sound that way. And then basically they're fighting against the religious system.
Well,
and they're joining their pagan.
I mean, we haven't been the nicest to. When I say we, I'm talking about Chris.
Yeah, no.
And because I'm a collectivist, I'm not going to say, well, the Catholic Church has been bad to pagans. We have not been very kind to our pagan brethren.
Right.
And I just think that this is kind of like a, but it's not all about us and how we've treated them. It's just about like not letting life get you down, really, is what it sounded like to me. If you wake up every morning feeling down and depressed inside, if you feel your life is empty, find a time to smile. When fear sticks in your body and soul because you lose and you're praying for wrath, if you surrender, brother, you'll never find your way, which is really, really cool.
Yep.
I had this one Wiccan girl tell me that she believed in curses and blessings or hexes and blessings, but like basically there's this principle that whatever you do is going to come back to you sevenfold. So if you, that was her form of paganism.
Yeah,
so if you bless somebody, then you get blessing back sevenfold. If you curse somebody, it'll work. Her particular god or goddess or whatever would do that, but then it would come back on you sevenfold. So then you had to do the arithmetic, like, is it really worth it to curse this person?
Right.
Which
I could just give them one blessing and I'll get 7. That seems more worth it. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's interesting because it's whether or not you believe in the efficacy of those kinds of curses or blessings in that whole system. And I as a Christian, kind of half believe that that's true. Because I don't know, like, theologically, I'm sure I get burned at the stake for this, but I'm not certain that God doesn't listen to pagans and their prayers and their hexes and all the rest of it. Like, let me give you an example. Like, if there's a woman who's being, like, completely mistreated by her village or whatever, by the men in her village, because she's in some horrible patriarchal system, right? And she's constantly blessing these people because she believes in that system. Mm-hmm. I think God looks at her and goes, she's blessing and not cursing, which is what Jesus told people to do with the Sermon on the Mount. Mm-hmm. She doesn't have the understanding of Jesus that we have, but since we believe Jesus is God and he's everywhere, he's interfacing with this girl, right?
Yep.
So she's blessing and not cursing, and so because of that, Jesus rewards her. So she thinks it's her pagan whatever, but we believe it's Jesus, so Jesus is blessing her. Mm-hmm. Well, these people keep fucking with this girl. So finally, she decides to put out some hex or whatever. Mm-hmm. I don't think Jesus is going to go, nope, I'm not going to listen to her. Mm-hmm. Because we know, I mean, you know, the prayer of the persistent widow, right? Where the widow's being mistreated.
Right.
And she goes to the judge and the judge won't listen to her. Mm-hmm. And she keeps pressing and says, give me justice. And Jesus says at the end that the woman ends up getting justice.
Right.
Okay. Well, so what I'm saying is, I'm not certain that principle has not worked in the real world. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'd agree with that.
And here's the other thing. I'm not certain that Jesus didn't set up that system for those people until they could get into a fuller understanding of who he is. Mm-hmm. You know, which really flips the tables on who's the good guy and who's the bad guy. Whereas, as Brother Piper said, you can have a blind spot in your theology or a blank spot in your sanctification, but that's a different story. So, but what's interesting is he says you lose and you're praying. You
know something's about to get sideways when they start coming up with all these nuances,
weird,
deep that you never saw in scripture.
Hey, I'm going to take that and run with that shit all the way to the bank with my LGBT friends. Thank you very much, John Piper.
Absolutely. I'm
totally taking
agree.
that shit to the bank. Now there's some hope for my LGBT friends. Okay. Yep. But so I think that's what he's saying when he's talking about you lose when you're praying for wrath. And again, this is like a translation, so he's saying you lose if you pray for wrath. If you surrender to that, brother, you'll never find your way because you're always.
And he talked about fear when fear sticks in your body and soul.
Yeah. But go ahead. What were you saying about the body and soul thing?
Well, it said when fear sticks to your body and soul, and then he goes on to say like if you surrender, brother, you'll never find your way. And I think that, you know, we talk about this a lot, like making decisions based on fear, or, you know, you have to know what your motivator is behind why you made the decision that you made. And we should never make a decision out of fear or pride or anger. Mm-hmm. You should just never make decisions that way. They don't end well. Let that be a lesson to you. So that's what it made me think of when it got to that part.
Yeah. And so you know, and I don't know if it's wicked. Hey, there's Ben Webb. I shout out to Ben Webb. I don't know if that's Wiccan or if it's proper or not, because quite frankly, paganism is not my thing. I mean, outside of Christianity is Islam, and then Hinduism is a very, very, very distant third. But that principle of, you know, the cursing and blessing thing is really, and it looks like that's what he's trying to get his friend to think through. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When they come and ask you for the tithe at the end of the month and the fucking Inquisition invites you to confess, together we'll see and wear protections. Fucking the power by using the faith will be free forever before the break of dawn.
Yeah.
Which I think is about probably, I don't know enough about this, but probably the evolution of tithing is so interesting to me. Mm-hmm. Because originally what tithing was you gave 10%. That was in the Old Testament economy, because you had these 12 tribes, and each tribe was assigned a portion of land. Yep. But the Levites, who were basically the priest class, didn't get any allotment of land, and then the text says their allotment is the Lord, right? Is Yahweh. So they got no land, which at that point, it's still today. That means you're not in the
You have no way to make income.
Not only income but wealth, because that was the way you built wealth. Was you had agriculture and all things of that nature.
Yeah,
and so you could build wealth. But the poor Levites were literally the poorest class in that system. But they were given the religious authority, so you had a balance really between church, state, and the regular person, because the regular person the priest class was dependent on the regular person for survival.
Oh, absolutely.
So you would give 10%, so they would take care of you religiously, and you would take care of them financially, because they got no allotment of land. Compare that to, in certain centuries where the priests were actually the power class, to the point where they were passing on all these manners and things like that to their kids, to the point where they got this revelation that priests can get married. That's not the Old Testament. That is a couple hundred years after. Oh yeah, a couple hundred years. They amassed all this power. And so it was like, holy shit, wait a second, you guys can't get married. So then their kids were illegitimate. So then the money and the land went back to the church. MashaAllah, tabarakah. So
that is so sick.
So originally the priests were kind of poor, and they were dependent on everybody for survival. And so obviously the moral thing to do in that situation is, you give them 10%. In the New Testament, there is no such demand for ministers.
Right.
There's no number put on what you're supposed to give to ministers. It's just God loves a cheerful giver.
Yep.
And it was so, and Paul would say, hey, whatever you decide between you and God, we'll do the thing at the end of the month, and then we'll distribute it to, and a lot of the times, like when, for example, when Paul was talking about the generosity of the Macedonians, it wasn't even about, the priest class. It was about, you got a lot of poor people here that need help because there was a famine.
Yeah.
And so they were collecting to help the people in the famine. And so what ends up happening is, when you look in the Old Testament, you had a people that were purposely made poor so that they could focus on religion. And then the surrounding culture was supposed to give them the money so that they could actually live, right? So they would live on the sacrifices and then the good of the people. In the New Testament, because you no longer had a priest class and a temple and a sacrificial system, because all of that gets subsumed into Jesus. Now, if you're a minister, the worker's worth his wages. If you're going to dedicate your entire life, fine. But you couldn't have, there was no solid number attached to it. So there was no guarantee. So you had to rely on the Holy Spirit working in the hearts of the people to get you, your sustenance. And then once you get out of that into the church, into the early church and on down, all of a sudden, after the 4th century, we start accumulating power and wealth and things like that. And the priest class went from the servant of the people to people serving them and amassing all this wealth and all this crazy stuff.
Wow.
So it's really, really interesting. So when he says, when they come and ask you for the tithe at the end of the month, it's like, damn. I don't know what the historical reference is here. I don't know if people were saying, like, if the church was telling pagans, hey, you got to we're going to come and collect at the end of the month. I don't know anything about that, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen. I mean, knowing,
I know that church, that I didn't grow up going.
But charging unbelievers?
No, but if you didn't pay tithes, they would call you into the office and say, hey, you haven't been putting money. It's completely inappropriate.
but it's inappropriate, but at least it's happening within the family. But we're going to pagans now and charging them basically jizya.
Well, that's what it reminded me of, because it says when they ask you for the tithe at the end of the month, and then the Inquisition invites you to confess, it almost sounded like, confess that you believe the way that they do, and then maybe you don't have to pay the tithe. But that's not what you're saying.
No, the Inquisition was, when they would go in there and torture you and force, a confession out of you, either that you were a pagan, or they would try to force you to confess that you were a Christian. You know what I'm saying? Like, like Jewish people, like you drown them, you just baptize them, whatever. And I think what he's saying here is, we'll wear our protections or, their medallions or whatever, and they would rather die than do that, because it says we'll be free forever before the break of dawn. So it's like they'd basically rather die than do that.
What about the next line? What are they saying there?
What? Take my hand, come with us and shout?
Effing the power by using the faith?
Yeah, because together we will see and wear protections.
Yep.
which I'm assuming are their medallions or whatever.
Okay.
And then they're fucking the power by using their faith. The power would be us coming in
their
and
medallions is what they're using their medallions.
Right, they're defiantly saying no. We're not gonna fall to the Inquisition, and we're gonna wear all these medallions that are apparently implements or images of their whatever of their pagan faith, and they're gonna overcome because even if you kill us, we're gonna be free, but before the break of dawn.
Right.
Take my hand, come with us, and shout. The huge bonfire, we will steal the morning light in the middle of the night. So this kind of we'll drink and fight. This is kind of like, that's, you know what I'm saying? Like you're throwing up a bonfire and they're circling around the bonfire. I don't really understand the significance of the bonfire and paganism, but like that happens here, right? With like teenagers in
Well, I heard that the name bonfire actually came from like bone fire because
there you go, talismans are what it was. Yeah, go ahead.
I heard that bonfire actually came from bone fire because they did sacrifices and the bones last longer than the body.
I don't know. Is that the etymology of it?
I have no idea. That's just what I had heard. And a lot of that stuff is unverifiable.
Yeah, that's all. So it was they were doing human sacrifices and dancing around them? Is that what they're saying? Yeah,
well, I don't know if it was necessarily the pagans or something, but that's where
I'd
they're saying
like
the term
I'd like to talk to the pagans to
etymology.
verify that. I'd like to verify that because I'm completely ignorant about paganism. So, so it's talismans is what it was. So yeah, I think it looks like they were wearing talismans and fucking the power by using the faith will be free forever before the break of dawn. They were still going to rock all their pagan talisman insignia, whatever, and say, no, we're not going to surrender to the stuff. Mm-hmm. We're going to dance around our bonfire and have fun. I think a lot of it was they were just, I don't know about having fun worshiping their gods, but I doubt very highly that the vast majority of pagans were lighting bonfires and sacrificing humans.
Oh, yeah.
I doubt that, but I'm not sure. I don't know. But that's really interesting.
This says over here.
Middle English, bone and fire. Yeah, the term originally denoted a large open-air fire in which bones were burnt, sometimes as part of celebration. Also, burning heretics or prescribed literature. So the human sacrifices, was us burning heretics or us burning pagan literature, and then that metastasizes into the pagans are burning people. No, we were the ones burning people. Holy shit. Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous. So yeah, but I just think it's them defiantly saying, no, we're not going to let anything get us down, whether it's, our past or religious persecution, any sort of persecution, or even a personal situation. Yep. If you're down in the press, the point is, we're not going to let it get us down. We're going to find a way. You get to the end of the day, you have some mead, we're going to have a bonfire, everybody dancing around, there's going to be fighting. I'm sure there's going to be other things. You know what happens when, you get some alcohol. Get some alcohol in the system. Once the Remy's in the system, ain't no telling what's up. Will I diss them? This is what these hoes yelling. I'm a pimp by blood, not relation. Y'all still chase on. I replay song, huh? Junk off dawn. Silken gators, spitting words, make a bird, tell the flock, see you later. Whether I'm drunk or high, skunk or tie. If it's player against a player, shit, slugs gonna fly. Ain't gonna lie, pimped out her SSI. Nigga, don't ask why, just respect it. She bought me the necklace, the bracelet, the benzo, she laced it. Cribbo got it, interior decorated. Anyway.
Oh my goodness.
So they gonna party. That's the point.
Oh, I forgot that's where that was started.
And she said that they burn on Midsummer, Mabon, and Samhain. So Samhain and Midsummer and So they're having fun, man, and they're not gonna. It's about not letting life get you down, basically, and whether it's a personal issue where here you're depressed inside, or whether it's a cultural issue like the Inquisition, the church coming to fuck you up, like. You gotta, you hold on to your faith basically, and you party, and it seems like, it's and I think God is God's in that, man. Now, obviously, as a Christian, I'm going to say no, paganism isn't true. That Jesus is the only way to God. What I'm saying though is I'm not sure that Jesus hasn't found a way to relate to people at that level. And that before this is all over for them, that they're not presented with a clear choice. That's what I'm saying. especially when we have been so horrible. Like, it's crazy to me that we were the ones that were burning people in bonfires or bonefires or whatever you want to call it.
Oh, God.
And then it gets translated to pagans are burning people. Like, I'm pretty certain that if we put, like, Western paganism, whatever people call it, I'm sure if we put the body count between the two that Christians would have.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
That they wouldn't even be close.
I don't doubt it.
And again, do I believe that actual true Christians were doing that? It doesn't matter. There's the personal, we know this. There's the visible church and the invisible church.
Yeah.
And I think too many times, like, Christians try to, try to put it all on the visible church as if the invisible church has nothing to do with it. So anyway, shout out to my pagan friend. I love the song. It's a feel good song, man. It's a feel good song.
For me.
It's a song about, like, not allowing, life to get you down. A little bit irreverent. And I think it's okay. I think it's okay. I think it's okay to be a little bit irreverent, especially with people who don't deserve reverence. You see what I'm saying? Like,
right.
And yeah, I believe in literal magic. What's the difference between magic and advanced science? There really isn't much. So, shout out to the big homie. So Middle Earth is not so sure on the body count. I'd say that we own the day because there's much more of us than them.
Yeah.
What do you give the song?
I gave it a 9.7. What do you give it?
I give it a 9.9 because of its proximity to that heavy shit that we just heard before. But I really like the song, and I really like the spirit of the song. I really like the spirit of the song of, like, it's important, man, to not let shit get you down.
Yeah.
Because,
yep.
They were very, like, straight up and explicit about the things in life that can get you down, and I think that that's important. I think it's important because as you get older, life is only going to get harder. I don't think that that's a pessimistic view of the world, to be honest with you, because if you can get stronger as life is getting harder, then it's served its purpose. Mm-hmm. And I do think that it is important to have, that recreation. And if you break down the term recreation, think about it. It's recreation. So like, wise religions create festivals and things of that nature because people understand that. That's why in the Old Testament people were commanded to have festivals. And it was like something like once every 3 months or some shit.
Right.
You were commanded to have festivals because God understands, like, shit is tough, man. Especially in the ancient Near East, and our pagan brothers understood that as well. Mm-hmm. And again, I think God was in that. I think God was like, and it's crazy because it was like, we're gonna get drunk, we're gonna have, and in the Old Testament, it says, hey, when it's time to have the festival, have your strong drink and get down. Mm-hmm. It says that. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know, like, how.
But then in the New Testament, it says, don't be drunk with wine wherein is excess.
I don't think that's a contradiction, because I think the context of Paul's time is people were just doing that every single day in excess, whereas in the Old Testament paradigm it was you had scheduled festivals, and so God's like, man, you can let loose on this particular festival where you can kind of control it.
They always told us that it had to do with the Holy Spirit, that the Old Testament they had
Old Testament what?
The Old Testament, you had, there was drinks, but in the New Testament, you're supposed to be full of the Spirit, not full of wine.
I'm sorry, but God literally orchestrated wine drinking into our sacraments.
Yeah, but...
Literally. Oh. So much so that people got drunk on it.
I know.
And he didn't say, so stop drinking wine. So anyway, that's a different discussion. I love the song. Shout out to whoever did that, and shout out to the big homie Mike, DJ Mike Franco. This guy right there, guys, DJ Mike, for making the lyric video for us as well. Having said that, dear listener, Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.